My name is Brian Bell, and I'm here to speak a very few words. In fact, by way of introducing SahajaYoga before she arrives here. So I expect to be in a quarter of an hour or so, but I think she's approaching now. I have been involved in SahajaYoga, which is the organisation Sri Mataji has set up. I've been involved in that for about 9 years. And I have to thank my survival on that. I not too long ago had a very nasty car accident, and spent quite a bit of time in hospital and various plastic casts, the last of which is now on the left leg. Very few people had any hope for me. It was considered that I would not survive. And in fact I did. And the reason I did was because what SahajaYoga had done over that period was to strengthen and build certain basics in me, which resulted in my survival. It was like one day I nearly didn't make it, and the next day I did. Well, it is through SahajaYoga that I'm here in front of you, and it is Sri Mataji herself who was the founder of that organisation 20 years ago this year.
Could you all stand up, please?
I just suggested that I talk on for a little while and introduce some of the basics of SahajaYoga, which is the organisation Sri Mataji has established. We have within us a treble system, a treble and balancing system, which can be seen on this diagram, which is a diagram of the subtle energy system which pulsates us all. We are built around this system. You can see that there are three channels, blue, a yellow, and one which is clear. One on the right-hand side of the figure is yellow, and that is the side of energy. It is the side that is out-turning. It is the male side of our nature. It is the dominating side of our nature. It is the active. When it goes too far, when we go too far in that direction, when the right side becomes weak, then what happens is that we become aggressive, we become strong-willed, we become demanding, we can even become destructive, we can become vandals. So there is an aspect of that right-hand side which is very much part of our nature. But given too much emphasis, it can go too far, it can become destructive. The same is true on the left-hand side, the blue side. On that side, that is the side where we intern. It's the emotional side, the female side of our nature, the moon side. The sun on the right, the moon on the left. It is, in balance, it is the side of our desire, it is the side of our devotion, it is our emotional side. But pushed too far, that is when it becomes in turning to the point of a lack of self-control, a lack of self-respect, over-emotionalism, and so on. So these are the two sides of our nature, and from the centre we either go to one way or the other. Either if we run into problems, if we run into difficulties, we become right-sided, which means that everything becomes overactive, Or we become left-sided when things become underactive. All diseases, all illnesses are related to that. Every problem that we have is because some aspect of our nature, some part of our nature, is either overactive or it is lethargic. It is overdoing its job or it is not doing its job. In the center of all that is the ever-present now. And it is that center which is our balance. It is through that center that we can meditate, that we can see the world around us with clarity, that we can get ourselves into a state of balance, peace, where we can evolve, where we can grow, where we can develop. To go to one side or the other is not an advance, is not a progress. Stay in the center that we grow. And it is that center energy, that central energy, which is the energy relating to self-realization. That central energy starts in the lower right base of the spine. There is a reservoir there. There's no English word for it, although sometimes it's referred to as the life force. There's a Sanskrit word, kundalini, which is what it is. This energy at the base of the spine is the source of our central power, is the source of our balance, is the source of our good nature, is the source of our evolution. When that energy is released, when the energy at the base of the spine is released, we carry it with us from lifetime to lifetime in a dormant state. When it blossoms, when it grows, then it gathers through that center channel and makes a connection with the great energy of creation. And that is when a true balance can start. Our world, our future world, is going to be a world of balance, of ease, of peace, of joy, of well-being. And that is the yoga, that is the union, that is the knitting of that energy inside us with the great energy outside us. It is the knitting of that so often referred to as the microcosm and the macrocosm. One of the great figures who has devised a way of making that connection en masse, because in the past that connection has been made individually. Individual people have studied for years, sometimes even for lifetimes, to gain that clarity. In other words, gain that connection, gain that union. Yoga means union. To gain that union, they work very hard, clearing each one of these energy centers until that central energy rises. But now, in this day and age, we have reached a time in evolution when this can happen not only individually, but can happen en masse. A lot of people can share in this connection, can share in this unity, can share in this joining of those two great energies and everything that results from it. And the person behind that, the person who's devised this system, this technique, whereby these two energies can be joined, this yoga can take place, is with us tonight. Srimati Nirmala Devi.
I vow to all the seekers of truth. While seeking the truth, we have to realize that truth is what it is. We cannot change it. We cannot manipulate it. We cannot conceptualize it. But we have to accept as it is. The truth is to be understood as it is. So whatever he has told you today need not be accepted. You can treat it as a hypothesis, but must have a scientific attitude to see for yourself whatever is said is there or not, and if so, and if it works out, then as honest people you have to accept it. As we see the civilizations grow, it is the outward growth of a tree, but we have not known our roots so far. We have to know our roots, otherwise we are standing all the time at a very precarious point, waiting for a shock when the whole world could be destroyed. Now the main thing within us is this, that we have not yet found out the absolute truth. If we had found out, there would not have been so many opinions, there would not have been so many problems, and so many theories and quarrels which lead us nowhere. We talk of communism, it leads us to some sort of an alley of power. You talk of democracy, it leads you into some sort of a mess of corruption. It's all money-oriented, democracy is, while communism is power-oriented. But none of them are spirit-oriented. So the first truth about human beings is that they are not this body, not this mind, not these emotions, not this ego, but they are spirit. And that's what all the great saints, prophets, and all the incarnations have said, that seek thyself, find out yourself. What is the self? And the second truth is that there is a very subtle power which we do not know, which is called as the all-pervading power of God's love, or some people call it as Ruh. Some people call it as Paramachaitanya. And this is the power that governs all the living functions of the world, of this universe, everything. And we have to feed that all-pervading power. This is the second truth about it. But human being, in his effort to know the truth, has gone into various problems. As he had said that he has gone either to the left or to the right, because there is no way that we can ascend without the awakening of the Kundalini, or we can say the residual power, which is actually the power of your pure desire. We have desires, but they are not pure. If they were pure, we would not have been running from one to another. Supposing you want to have a car, all right, you get the car, you are not satisfied. You want to have a house. You get the house, you are not satisfied. You are jumping from one to another and never satisfied with the desire that you had. That shows very clearly that the desire you had was not a pure desire, otherwise it would have really satisfied you fully. And also according to economics, that desires or wants in general are not satiable. That proves the rule that the desires that we have in general are not satiable. So the left side that is shown here, which is what we call as the Ida Nadi, looks after the desire. So it's a power of desire. Also the autonomous nervous system within us, as they say. They call it autonomous. Doctors have to give names autonomous. But who is this auto? This autonomous nervous system has got a left and a right sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic in the center. Of course, being honest, they say that we don't know much about parasympathetic. But according to SahajaYoga, the left side looks after the power of desire and towards our emotions, to our past, to our subconscious, to our collective subconscious. And the right side is the one which is also called as the Pingala Nadi, looks after the future of person, gives mental and physical capacity to work out. There are two types of energies which we can work out. For example, if you are running fast, we can increase the beat of our heart. But how do we bring it down to normal is through the central part, which we call as the parasympathetic nervous system, but is looked after by the subtle channel that is called as Sushumna. Now this knowledge was known to Indians since long. It's nothing new. It's known to them since long. Thousands of years back they knew about it. But they couldn't discover a method by which they could give mass realization. This is what has happened in modern SahajaYoga, that we can give mass realization. Any discovery, unless and until it becomes public, it has no meaning. And that's the reason why all the saints, all the prophets, all the incarnations were never taken seriously. On the contrary, they were tortured and troubled and crucified. So one has to understand that we have this power within us, innately built. Sahaja means born with you. Sahaja. Saha is born, Ja is with. Saha is with and Ja is born. Sahaja means born with you. And is born with you this power of becoming one, united with that divine power, which is the subtle power. Now just to cancel it out as it doesn't exist, doesn't show much of an effort on the part of a seeker. A seeker of truth is a special category of people. William Blake has described them as men of God. It's very clearly described that these men of God will find out the way, and they will become really the men of God, and they will be able to make others also men of God. At that time, about 100 years back, you could see this in England, but people discarded him as a madman, as usual. There's nothing new about it. All such people were treated as mad because they were so unique, so different. Like we have Kabira in India, Kabir Das, who says, how am I to explain to these people, because the whole world is blind. They are blind and they don't want to see the colors. So how am I to talk to them about the colors? Now there are thousands and thousands of people who are really seekers of truth. Very amazingly, I discovered them so many in USSR. I'm surprised because USSR, a hall of 2,000 was completely filled and there were 2,000 sitting outside. Despite the fact, whatever type of a government they had, or whatever harm they might have done, or whatever might have happened, I must say they are people of great depth. They have touched their depth so easily, and they could understand me much better when I said that you can't pay. You can't pay for your ascent. It's a living process of your evolution, and you never paid for your evolution when you became human beings, and you cannot pay more, or in any way, even little bit, for this kind of a happening which is absolutely spontaneous. It's like sprouting of a seed. And we don't pay the Mother Earth for that, do we? The seed has the power and the Mother Earth has the power. It works out. And they really were so much there. And it has now become such a spread out in SahajaYoga in USSR that I don't know what to say for our freedom that we had in our democracy. What it has done to us, it has made us superficial, that we cannot see the truth in a deeper way, that we don't want to understand what is the truth is. And everywhere, I went to America, I was surprised, they asked me how many Rolls Royces you have. I said, I don't have any Rolls Royce because we don't take any money. They said that we are not interested. It has to be a business. Everything has to be a business. God has to be business, religion has to be business. It's absurd. How can that be? Even in a place like Cairns, you see there was a lady, Sahajogini, and they said that if you don't ask for money, nobody will come. So she's all right, I'll take $50. She charged them $50 for the program. She gave them realization and she returned their money. Now take it back. It's all over. Like that, you see. So we have to understand that materialism is our headache, not that of God. God doesn't understand money. It's a living process. We every day see the flowers, we see the trees, we see the beauty and the bounties of the Mother Earth, which is throwing all the time for our comfort, for our happiness, for our nourishment. And she doesn't charge us anything. So how can there be a power which is all pervading, we can purchase through money? This is one point, please try to understand. Because I have found it very difficult to talk to people. Now supposing if I had put a big money here, maybe there would have been so many. Because from India so many horrible gurus came here, they charged a lot of money and they had very big following everywhere. It's very surprising that the money should attract people so much. So first and foremost thing, I have to tell you very frankly that you cannot pay for it. It is your own right to have. It's your own right to have this new awareness, which we call it as collective consciousness. When the Kundalini rises, she pierces through 6 subtle centers. And the last center that you see here, and the red one, you see the square one. This is the center, is what we call as the Muladhara Chakra. Is the center which looks after your prostate and is placed below the Kundalini, which is in the sacrum bone. Now the sacrum bone means the sacred bone. That means the Greeks knew about it, that this bone is a sacred bone. And in this lies this power, which is 3.5 coiled one. It's a coil, that's why it's called Kundalini, because Kundal means coils. It's as simple as that. Now this center, the lower center, is responsible for all our excretionary functions and deals with pelvic plexus, which is responsible for all kinds of excretions, inclusive of sex. So the sex doesn't play any part. When the Kundalini ascends, this center just stops its function completely. So this is another myth people have, that you can ascend through sex. It's not. Sex is alright, just saying sex is alright, but not while you are ascending. It is not possible that with sex you can raise your Kundalini. It's an impossible situation because the Kundalini lies above the center. Then it starts traveling through 6 other centers. The first center that you see here is actually comes out of the third center. The first center is called as Swadhisthana, about which he has told you that either you go to the right or to the left. So with the left side starts from the first center, which moves upward, and the right side starts from the second center and which moves upward, and creates 2 institutions within us. The first institution that you have, as you see on the right side, is the ego, where we think we are doing this, we are doing that, we are working, we have made this hall, we have made this stage. If you see it is, say, some 3 was dead, from the dead to the dead. We have not done any living work so far. Only when you get your self-realization, then you can do living work. You can vibrate these trees, you can give realizations to others, you can see with your naked eye the rising of the Kundalini in some people. In some people it rises like a jet. And you are amazed how it comes up. So people might think that it sounds very fantastic, but we are fantastic. We are not made for nothing at all. So much time has been taken for our evolution. There must be some purpose behind us. After all, even in human awareness, we are very much higher than animals. Animals can pass through any dirty lane, but we cannot. We have so much sensitivity to color, to beauty, to so many things which animals don't have. So now there is the last breakthrough has to come when this Kundalini rises. Like this instrument is to be connected to the mains. You are to be connected to the mains, that's all. It's as simple as that. There's nothing wrong with you. Everything is fine. And this is what we have to work it out. As a matter of fact, it's surprising when your Kundalini rises, you yourself get cured by your own power. Nobody has to do it. Cured of many diseases. It can cure so many diseases we have seen. Recently also AIDS. We saw two persons got rid of their AIDS in part. So one can work it out. But I don't know why people don't take to it and work it out when it is so simple. So many diseases like cancer, incurable so many diseases can be cured by you. You can cure your own disease. You don't have to go to anyone. Nobody has to do it because you have got the power. Only you must know the technique how to do it. It's a very simple technique which you can master in 1 month's time. But we must have our depth to understand our own value and to estimate ourselves that we are not ordinary people just to waste our life in a mundane thing, but we are something great and we are seekers of truth. As a result, you will understand that you are great and that you have to know the truth. And once you get it, then universally you know everything just the same. There's no difference. For example, when it happens, your hands become enriched and you start feeling on your fingertips the all-pervading power. Now, if there's something wrong with you, these fingers indicate what's the problem. In the Quran is written clearly that at the time of your resurrection, your hands will speak and will give witness against you very clearly. He's done a lot of work, but I don't know what Muslims are doing. Same about Christ has said it, that there is going to be a resurrection time for all of us and a judgment time, and that the Holy Ghost is going to come. All kinds of things are said, but people are not seeking that. What they are seeking is a kind of an organization, and they have organized God in every religion, whether it is Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Sikhs. All of them have tried to organize, and there is nothing they have found. One should know that it is not man-made, it has to be made by God. And it is innate within us. This power is innate within us. And when this Kundalini rises to this green part, then you become innately religious. Innately means you have, say, a valency of 10 human beings. And these valencies get enlightened and you become a righteous person. Nobody has to tell you. Like all the saints were righteous people. Nobody had to tell them. Fearless, righteous, fighting for truth, enjoying in life. That's what is the first thing happens to you, that you become innately righteous. You become a very dynamic person because you are connected to the veins. You never feel tired. You can work very hard. You enjoy everything very well. But above all, you become the source of peace for yourself and others. There are so many things that can happen. And tomorrow I am going to tell you more about all these centers and how things get cured and what happens. But for today, I think it should be all right, because I would like you on the first day to ask me questions. But here one has to know that I am not here to ask for votes or anything. I am nothing to gain. I have come all the way from England just to see you and meet you and find out if there are people who are really seeking the truth. If so, I would like you to get awakened and to know yourself. And so please ask me questions which are relevant and not questions which are just of no use. So I hope you will understand the importance of time and ask me relevant good questions. May God bless you all.
This anything over the next couple of nights? Or
Can you stand up, please?
is this going to be ongoing over the next couple of nights?
It's tomorrow night, going to be a continuation of tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
How many days does it go for? 2. Right.
How many days ago?
Only for 2 days, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm traveling now. I have to go back to Australia. And you'll be amazed that SahajaYoga is working out in 40 nations. And here also we have a very good center. And there are very well equipped people who can help you. And they have a course, I think, for 7 days. Though I didn't understand the part of the course, but they said that people understand course better because it's a subject not known to them. So there is a course also which you can join without paying anything. You have to give some time, that's all. Everyone wants to be in that state, I know. But I don't know why they miss the point.
Tantric yoga, what can you explain? He wants to know what tantric yoga is.
Now, Tantra means mechanism. In Sanskrit language, Tantra means mechanism. And this is actually the mechanism, actually. But those who are not Sahajogis, who are not yogis, those who are not realized souls, this is yoga, this is Sahaja-yoga. What they do is to use this mechanism without knowing anything about it. Then they are called as tantrikas because they go just in the opposite direction, not in the right direction. Like one way is, one of our books has described them very clearly. These tantrikas are the people do funny things in, say, a temple of a goddess and try to make a place vacant, to do all black magic and all sorts of things, to mesmerize people, to do black magic, all what you call the science of the dead. That is actually tantrika. In a way, it's a misnomer because they don't know anything about tantra, about the mechanism, and they have no right, but they do it, and that's why they suffer so much. They die a terrible death as well. But because of those black magic things, they can tell you what is in your mind, they might tell you the number of the horse, all sorts of things they do. But that's not so important. That's the left side or the right side, extreme movement. When they go to the collective subconscious or collective supraconscious and they start telling things from the dead, it's a very funny area into which nobody should enter. So you cannot come back from. We have many tantrikas in Nepal, all over. Also I have seen in South America, we have lots of them. There are witchcraft. Every sort of thing has come up. And I don't know why people take to it. For what reason? Because in the long run, it's very dangerous.
One of the basics to follow SahajaYoga in life.
Basics to follow SahajaYoga in life.
Nothing you have to just desire, nothing to be followed. You just desire that you want to have your self-realization. As a result, yourself, that is your spirit, shines in your attention and you yourself become equipped. Know what is good, what is bad. You become your own master. Like you feel on your fingertips, supposing now this center is catching or this center is catching, you immediately know this is the problem with me, and if you know how to correct yourself, you can correct it. Also, you can in collective consciousness, it's a new consciousness, new awareness, which develops within you. You can feel what's wrong with others, and you can correct that also, and help another person to correct it. But for the time being, just you have to be desirous about it. And secondly, you have to forget the past. You have to be in the present. Forgive yourself. You have to really have self-esteem. and full faith in yourself that you can get your self-realization. Full confidence. Also you have to forgive others, because that's also a myth. Whether you forgive or don't forgive, it's a myth. But if you forgive, then don't play into wrong hands. As simple as that.
Do you accept that in the seeking we have already found? Once on the road, one can then accept the feelings and at least one has the right thing.
Once seeking has started, can we believe that what we feel and what we've gained in that process is right?
Actually, seeking started is not the point. Once you have achieved your self-realization, first you have to establish it fully. Once you have established it, then you know absolute truth, no doubt about it. Because you are connected to the means, absolute truth. Then you just know what is right and what is wrong. On your fingertips you. And you just don't do wrong things. Nobody has to tell you. It's like this. Supposing you are holding a snake in your hand and there's darkness, you can't see. And if somebody tells you that there's a snake, you may not agree to that. And you say, no, how do you say, I think it's a rope. But if there's light, of course, you throw it away. It's like that. That's what is enlightenment. And this enlightenment was there in the beginning, which were called as Gnostics in the Christian religion also. The early Christians were called as Gnostics. The word "na" comes from the word "na" in Sanskrit language, which means to know. Yeah. Some people say yeah, some say no, from the jnana, which is you have to know on your central nervous system, which is to know in such a way that it is absolute on your central nervous system. Also the word used for this is bodha. Bodha in the Buddha literature you find the word bodha. Bodha means to know on your central nervous system. That means enlightenment. Also is known as Veda. Veda means Vedas, from where the Vedas, the first verse of the Vedas is that reading all this, knowing all this, if you do not get your self-realization, it is absolutely useless. So it's called as Veda in Sanskrit language. And in the English language, I don't know, now they have got that kind of a word. But know thyself. It's written in the Bible very clearly. What does that mean? One should find out. So the actualization of the baptism takes place. Because when the Kundalini rises, it pierces through the spontaneous bone area, and you can feel the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost coming out of your own head. I don't have to certify. You have to certify yourself. You see yourself and you feel it yourself. But we doubt ourselves all the time. We can't believe ourselves that we can get it, but the time has come. Why not?
It seems that there are many people following many paths, many religious traditions, who believe that they feel a connection with God, with the divine power, whatever they might call it. And yet some of them go around killing other people, slaughtering people from other religions, and they feel certain that they're connected. So how can I be sure? If I'm feeling that way, how can I be sure I'm not?
This gentleman is pointing out that in a number of religions, there are people who believe they have this direct connection with God, and the various religions have it, and yet they're fighting and killing each other.
It's
How
correct.
can he be sure
Yeah.
that this is right?
You see, this is the reason is that we must know that it's all imagination and self-certification, self-opinionatedness, that we are chosen ones, we are special. This is nonsense. Because anybody who belongs to any religion can commit any sin that they want. They can murder, I don't know how many sins there are, but any sin that you can think of, they can do. They can go against everything. Like in the Bible, Christ has said very clearly in a very subtle way, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. He said it. But how many there are in the Christian nations you find without adulterous eyes? See, the whole civilization is moving towards adultery only, I sometimes I feel, the way things are and the way things are working out. So the way they are being preached and they are being told is not there. It's just some sort of another thing that's happening. So I agree with you that religion, the man-made religion has created this problem. But God-made religion is different. Now we had about 40 nations in India for about 3,000 people. And such beauty, such love, such understanding, such purity that really enamored me, and I was surprised how this new race has come. And there are only some selected people who had come from all the nations. So something good is happening all over.
You believe that everyone is born with original sin.
You see, this is original sin is not nobody is born with it as such. See what happened at that time. We could have managed it better in the sense that if Adam and Eve had agreed to the verdict of God and had obeyed, there would not have been such a problem. But human beings wanted their freedom, and then God realized that this freedom has to be given to them. Let them see through their freedom with what you call the trial and error and trial method. So then they evolved in the human stage. It was chosen. This path was chosen. So that original sin and everything is idea within us, because only we human beings think that we have done sins, not the animals. Animals never think of sin and all. So this idea just disappears as soon as the center, Agya Chakra, opens, and that ego and superego, the conditionings are sucked in. And like this they open out the lotus. And when the Kundalini goes out, all your karmas, so-called, and your conditionings or the kusanskara, all get dissolved.
Yes.
Yes, while we are trying to raise the Kundalini fire, what happens if we run out of control? How are we going to control it?
When the Kundalini fire is released, how is it going to be controlled?
Oh, it controls itself. It thinks, it understands, it organizes, it loves you. It's your mother. It's your individual mother. Everybody has an individual mother. That's the Kundalini. And as your mother took all the labor pains, she takes all the pains. There's no fire. It's a very, it looks like a fire. In the sense, when the chakras, when the centers are enlightened, they look like flames. You see them. And also, as described in the Bible, I'll appear before you like tongues of flames. They are like flames, no doubt, but very gentle, beautiful flames, and very soothing and energy giving. So it is a very different type of fire which has no burning capacity. It has a nourishing capacity.
Gentleman back.
What techniques does SahajaYoga use to raise Kundalini, and is there any difference with other systems of yoga?
What technique does SahajaYoga use to raise the Kundalini, and in what way is it different from other
Systems of yoga.
systems of yoga?
You see, other systems of yoga are also artificial. I will tell you how. For example, there is something called Raja Yoga that they preach. Now, when the Kundalini rises, she rises spontaneously. I have told you, it's a living process. Just spontaneous. It's all built into you. Only one enlightened light has to enlighten another light. There's no process, no technique, nothing. It just works out. But to retain it or to develop it, you have to use certain understandings about yourself. That's all. There's no technique involved. It's just simple, spontaneous working out. But like Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is a part of actually Kundalini awakening within yourself. That is, when the Kundalini rises, she passes through one center to another center, from that center to another center. And when she passes through one center, she first dilates, see, and then she augments, means she constricts us. The Kundalini does not, but the chakras, they first dilate and then they constrict to stop the Kundalini from falling down. This is the actual Raja Yoga, like when the car starts, the machinery starts working. But before igniting the car, if you start moving the wheels, that is what is today's Raja Yoga. They have even cut the tongues of people, in the sense that they have cut the thread of the tongue and pushed it back, saying that this is the khechari that happens, Kundalini rising. There is no Kundalini. See, when the Kundalini rises, even this center here, Vishuddhi, a little bit there's a constriction takes place and the tongue is pulled inside, but you won't feel anything at all happening to you. Just a little bit. When it passes through, because it should not fall. But what they do is to cut the thread and push it back. This is absurd. I have seen so many doctors from India who have cut their threads stupidly and are moving about like dogs with the wagging tongues. They can't do anything, they can't talk. All this kind of a nonsense is not Kundalini awakening at all. But that is part of it. Then Hatha Yoga is Ha and Tha. Ha is the sun and Tha is the moon. That means you have to do both the sides. A Hatha Yoga of Patanjali, which was the original one, was in Ashtanga, means there were 8 folds. And one of them, a very wee part of it, and a wee part of it is exercises. And the exercises are, when the Kundalini rises, then you have to see where the Kundalini is, where the problem is, and you have to correct it if there is some physical problem. Then you have to go for a particular type of an asana or particular type of an exercise. But when we do Hatha Yoga these days, we are doing it very indiscriminately, without understanding the science behind it, and it can be very dangerous, because I have seen people who do it become very dry, and they suffer all the right side problems. They also get massive heart attacks. The worst is mostly they get divorced because they are so dry and so hot-tempered that if you have to reach them, you better use a barge pole. This is what the modern yoga. We are taking all the medicine box inside ourselves without understanding what we should do. Can get some words, not all.
She's asking to what extent the motive, the desire for Kundalini awakening, how much that affects the actual event itself. How important is the motive? How important is the desire?
There's no measure about it. I just said if you don't desire, for example. I cannot force on you, isn't it? You're free. I cannot force it on you. That's the point. There's no measure about it. Is that you want to have Kundalini awakening? All right. But if you don't want to have, how can I force it on you? It cannot be forced. I respect your freedom. And the Kundalini also. She won't rise unless and you really want her to rise. There's no measure about it. There's no proportion, nothing of the kind. But just as I said that you should want. You have to knock at the door, as they say.
Does the purity of the motive affect the Kundalini awakening?
Yes.
Does the purity of the motive affect Kundalini awakening?
No, my child, it's not that much, you see. You don't become worried on that point. It's nothing of the kind. Kundalini knows you very well. She has taped everything all your lives and she knows you very well. She will manage it. You don't have to worry so much into it and you don't have to think about purity. She's the one who is the purifier. She'll work it out. So leave it to her. But only thing you have to ask for it. I cannot force on it. This is the point I make. Alright? How can you weigh the purity? You cannot weigh it. There is no weighing point. It is she only who can judge it.
Could you comment on the difference between systems of meditation and systems of yoga in terms of Kundalini awakening and self-realization? And could you comment particularly on transcendental meditation? On transcendental meditation.
Can you just go through that again, because I'm not sure I'll get all that detail.
Could you comment on the difference between systems of yoga and systems of meditation?
Could you comment on the difference of systems in yoga and in meditation?
See, there's no difference between the two. Yoga means union with the divine. Now there is a misnomer also. You see, some of the people went down to some great things in, I think, to Himalayas or something, where they picked up few things about yoga, the so-called physical one. But actually, if you see, it is systematically one after another that you have to become, first of all, in the Patanjali Yoga also, you have to become first thoughtlessly aware, called as Nirvichar Samadhi. Any yoga has to be. So thoughtlessly aware means you are aware, absolutely. I mean, you are very alert and you are very aware, but you are thoughtless. There is no thought in it. But the thought rises and falls, another thought rises and falls. But in between the thought, there is a very little space. So we are either in the future or in the past. But in the center is the present. So what happens that when Kundalini rises, these thoughts lean out. And there is a little space which is called as Vilamba, increases. And that's how you become thoughtlessly aware. And when you are thoughtlessly aware, you are in present. So there is no thought, you watch something, you just see the thing, you become a witness, and the whole joy of that witnessing is pouring on you. Also, by witnessing, you can solve your problem because you are away from it, you can see. You are not in the water to be drowned, so you see the waves, and you are in a boat, you can see. So it happens in such a manner that you become a personality which does not get involved in it. It's a detached personality, and you grow in it. That is the first stage that you achieve, is thoughtless awareness. And the second stage is called as doubtless awareness, with Nirvikalpa Samadhi, by which you get endowed with lots of powers of raising Kundalini, and you are doubtless about it, and you know everything about it, and you know the whole way of working it out. So that is the second stage, is called also as Nirvikalpa Samadhi in the same yoga system. But like people have taken out this much of here and this much of here, that's not the way. It has to be systematically the yoga with the divine. The main thing. Yoga means that. Yoga doesn't mean it. Also another word, another meaning of the yoga is yukti, meaning the deftness, means the deftness. Deftness, how to work it out. That's why I said that first you get your realization, first of all you touch your divine, and then you must learn how to work it out, how to establish it. That's the deftness part. So with the second happening, you become deft. And when you are deft, you are called as a person who has doubtless awareness. Deft. That's the only word in English I find to explain.
There's another section to that question. Asking for a comment on transcendental meditation.
Oh, absolutely nonsense. People have become stupid. Not only that, there are people who are suffering with epilepsy. And it's the most horrendous thing that could have happened to you people. There is one fellow called Peter Pierce, who was head of the organization they had established in Roanoke in Scotland, where poor man, he was a big diamond merchant, had purchased ashram for them, he stayed there. And he and his wife was the granddaughter of a duke. All their money they spent in building up this kind of a thing, where they started a flying academy, where people were supposed to fly. And he was under complete mesmerism with that. and the whole money was sent to Switzerland while this fellow was running that. Ultimately, they became complete broke. And all of them, he and his deputy director and his daughter and his wife, all of them got epilepsy. And they had no money with them when they met me. And when they came to me, I didn't know what to do, so I asked them to stay in my house. They stayed in my house. They got cured of their troubles and all that. And now he's going to write a book about this, what is it? And the whole thing was so stupid. I don't know how people accepted such a nonsense from them. Because they were given mantras which has no meaning in Sanskrit language. If there are Indians, they can understand. First one was called as Inga. Inga in Hindi language means a bite of a scorpion. Second one is a pinga, where the person gets possessed and goes round and round is pinga. And the third one was tinga. Tinga means when you show like this to anyone. And it was done with such a pomp and show that people had to pass through 7 rooms and reach the place, and there was some sort of a ceremony was done, and in the ear this horrible mantra was said, and they had to pay £300 only for this kind of a nonsense. And people were so gullible and vulnerable. The main thing I feel is the attraction that you have to pay. Even now, I see in my another life, as you know, my husband is such and such. I find people talking, have you been to this guru? I said, which one? This one is very good. You know, he is rather expensive but very good. Now there is some bargain going on. Can you imagine? This kind of a thing. And transcendental meditation is something, some sort of a horrible mesmerism, where they have this happening, that people become epileptic, cancer, and the worst of all is AIDS. I've said it many a times, they have never challenged me so far. They cannot. I can prove it. But you are so gullible. And the way they described me, that they had a session for these so-called flying squads that they were preparing. We should be sensible to understand, are we going to now fly in the air? What are we going to gain out of it? And now they have started a new thing, is Ayurveda. For Ayurveda, why should you go to this man? You can come to India or you can have some Ayurvedic treatment here. Why do you want to go to this man? What is the need? Who is he? And he himself, I think, was quite aware of the stupidity, so he used to giggle all the time at people when they did it. How stupid they are. He's known as Giggly Guru. One better than the other, my child. One better than the other. Their claims are all nonsensical. Like in one of the programs, they said that you, when the brain was put to a kind of a recording, they found theta waves. Anybody who has any sense of medical science will know theta waves are only caused when there is epilepsy in a person. And we had a doctor, like Dr. Rustam Barjorji. He was in that meeting and he said that theta waves are only caused when there is epilepsy, because he's not only a doctor but also a psychiatrist. So they got after him. Oh, when are you coming to our place for lunch? How much money should be paid? This and that. You really need strong people to understand this. And wisdom. They are not successful in India. They cannot be, because Indians have basic wisdom about such stupid things that any mantra is not all right. You have to know what chakras you are catching. And there you have to know what mantra to use. It's very scientific. And the way they have harmed people, I'm sorry for that. The way they have harmed people, so many people are, that the disciples of Rajneesh just faint before them. I don't know how to cure them. They're all sick, absolutely sick. So sorry. And some of them are violent. This Anand Mangis, they are violent people. How can that be? You must see the disciples, how they are. How much they know, have they any knowledge? How are they? Their temperaments, how they behave, how they talk, what is their behavior. It's important to see. Anybody claims anything, why should you jump at it? We have so many now in SahajaYoga. There was a lady who was a barrister. She spent all her money, and she told me a very funny story about this DM, that they charged her £6,000 to go to Switzerland, where they were put into some sort of a hotel, and they were asked to drink for 6 days the water which boiled some dirty potatoes. That water was taken for 6 days, and 7th day they had to eat the rind of those potatoes, and then the 8th day the potatoes. That's all. And £6,000 she spent. Her sister got mad. She became lunatic. She was in a lunatic asylum. She's cured now. How can you believe such things? First and foremost thing you must know that God does not want you to suffer. Never. Why will He want you to suffer? Christ has suffered for us. No more sufferings. This is another style. You must suffer. Why should you suffer? God wants you to be happy, joyous, to enjoy His bounties. Why will He want you to suffer? You will understand this. Once you are enlightened, you will be empowered. You will know that this is all false. It's all just to make money. This is all money-making propositions. I have talked about it since 1970. I told the name of all these horrible devils who are born again. Nobody would listen to me. They were so enticed by him. All sorts. You have to be careful. And if SahajaYoga grows, people will understand. They have big organizations, they have good publicity because they earn money and then they spend money and do all these things. But that is already there. You see so many advertisements. How can you advertise about God and everything and all the claims there are? That's all right. You can talk about it, tell them. But they don't believe. They don't believe because the advertisement is such a lot all the time in the television, this, that, all the time advertising, they spend so much money that people get conditioned by it. All right? Doesn't matter whatever you have been, whatever you have done, it does not matter at all. Whatever may be the conditions, doesn't matter. I have seen in SahajaYoga, if you are a seeker of truth, you have every right to get to it. And that has to be established. All right? Now, should we have our self-realization? I've been talking every day. So, very simple thing we have to do. Also, by this I will tell you how to nourish your centers, and today is your own later on. But you must all come to this course and practice it and become great personalities. By the time I come next year, I want to see you grown very big. Now, first condition, as I told you, is to forgive yourself. Because the divine is the ocean of forgiveness. And you cannot do anything that cannot be forgiven. So not to feel guilty for anything. It's a fashion also to feel guilty all the time. The English language itself is like that. Sorry, sorry, morning till evening, sorry, sorry, sorry for everything. So you don't have to feel guilty at all. Not to feel guilty. Secondly, you have to forgive everyone. And when you have to forgive everyone, that means you don't have to count how many people you have to forgive, what they have done to you, and what wrongs I've been there, nothing of the kind. In general, you have to say, I forgive everyone from your heart. These are the only two conditions we have for surgery. This is going to show now. Can you come back? First we'll show you how to nourish your centers. And then you can close your eyes and see for yourself how it works out. Now to take the help from the Mother Earth would be better to take out your shoes. You have to now put your left hand towards me, which is suggestive of your desire to have your realization. That's all. Just to put your left hand. That's sufficient. Just to put your left hand like this. You can put it on your lap. Now put your both the feet apart from each other, because there are two powers as I told you. The left hand towards you. Now those who don't want to do it can go, because I cannot force on you, have told you already. And it won't be civil for you to sit here when others are doing this. So only those who want to have can have it. It cannot be forced. So left hand towards me, please. And the right hand is to be used for nourishing our centers. So first we put our right hand on our heart. In the heart resides the reflection of the Spirit in the heart. Please, everybody do it. It's very good. Then please take down this right hand in the upper part of your abdomen on the left hand side. We work only on the left hand side, keeping the left hand like this all the time. Now on the left hand side is the center of your mastery. This is created by all the great masters for you, right from Confucius, Socrates, all these great masters, Abraham, Moses, up to recently, we can say, Shirdi Sainath. All of them have created this great center for you and it's ready to be enlightened. So this is the mastery of yourself and the mastery of this art of surgery. Now you put your right hand in the lower portion of your abdomen. The lower portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. This is the center through which the manifestation on our central nervous system takes place. Manifestation of the divinity, of the truth, of the collective consciousness comes through this center. So this is the center of pure knowledge. Then we raise our hand again to the upper portion of our abdomen on the left hand side. Then we raise it to our heart, and then we raise it in the corner of your neck and your shoulder and turn your head to your right. This is the center mostly people catch because they feel guilty. And that's why at the very outset I have requested not to feel guilty. It's a very dangerous one because this gives you spondylitis, it gives you angina and so many other problems of lethargic heart and lethargic other organs. So now please put your head to your right. Now we have to take our right hand to our forehead, put it across and bend your head as much as you can. Allow it to rest on this hand. Rest it on both the sides. This is the center to forgive others. Now you take back this right hand on the back side of your head and push back your head on top of it as far as possible. As far as possible. Here, without feeling guilty, without counting your mistakes. You have to just say that you should be forgiven by the Divine. You have to ask for forgiveness from the Divine. But you don't have to feel guilty at all. Now, stretch your hand and stretch your palm, please. And the center of your palm is to be taken on top of your head on the fontanelle bone area. Press back your fingers as far as possible. Press it hard and move it. Move your scalp 7 times clockwise. Very slowly clockwise move your scalp, please. Keep the left hand towards me and keep both the hands. Bend your head. Do it better. Bend your head and move. That's all to be done. We now close our eyes and you can take out your spectacles if you want to, because it also helps sometimes for the eyesight. So just you have to keep your eyes shut till I tell you to open. I will remember to keep both the feet separate. One hand towards me like this. With the right hand we start on our heart. Put the hand on your heart now. Now don't doubt yourself. Please don't doubt yourself. Have full confidence. In the heart, please close your eyes now. Please close your eyes and open when I tell you. In the heart resides the spirit. So here you have to ask me a question 3 times as you would ask a computer. Ask a question. You can call me Shri Mataji or Mother, whatever suits you. Mother, am I the spirit? Mother, am I the spirit? Ask this question 3 times in your heart, not loudly. Now, if you are your spirit, you are your own guide. You are your own guru. You are your own master. So now please take down your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen and press it hard. And here, ask me another question 3 times. Mother, am I my own master? Mother, am I my own master? Please ask this question 3 times. Now I have told you that I cannot disrespect your freedom. And so you have to ask for pure knowledge. I cannot force on you. So now please take your right hand in the low portion of your abdomen on the left hand side and press it hard. And please ask 6 times, because this center has got 6 petals. So ask 6 times, Mother, please give me pure knowledge. Mother, please give me pure knowledge. Say it 6 times. As soon as you ask for pure knowledge, the Kundalini starts moving upward, which you won't feel. Some people might, but mostly you should not feel. If your centers are all right, you don't feel anything. Try this very fast. So now we have to open the upper centers with our self-confidence. So raise your right hand and put it on the left hand side of your abdomen. And here you have to say with full confidence 10 times. With full confidence 10 times, Mother, I am my own master. Please say it 10 times with full confidence. Mother, I am my own master. Now the greatest truth about you is this, that you are the spirit. You are not this body. You are not this mind, you are not these emotions, you are not this ego, not these conditionings, but you are a pure spirit. So now raise your right hand on your heart and with full confidence say 12 times. With full confidence say 12 times, Mother, I am the Spirit. Mother, I am the Spirit. Just say that. Now, I have already told you that divine is the power which understands, loves, organizes. It is the ocean of all the knowledge and all the bliss. And it is the ocean of all the peace and joy. But above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness. So you cannot do anything that cannot be forgiven by the power of this ocean of love. So now please forgive yourself. Raise your right hand in the corner of your neck and your shoulder. Turn your head to your right. Now here, with full confidence, you say 16 times. 16 times. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Please with full confidence say this. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Say it 16 times. That should not be difficult to say when you know that there is such a powerful forgiveness is for us awaiting. So just say, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Now, as I told you, that we have to forgive everyone. But some of you might say that, Mother, it is difficult to forgive. But remember, whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. It's a myth. But if you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. I must say, it's very important today that you should forgive, because I find this center is very badly important. You have to forgive. If you don't forgive, you'll miss your realization. So please forgive from your heart. Not how many times, but forgive from your hearts. And please put your right hand on your forehead across. Now put down your head as much as you can. And now press it hard. On both the sides. And here you have to say, not how many times, but from your open heart. Just say, I forgive everyone. Now, take your right hand on the back side of your head and slowly move your head upwards. Let it rest on your hand properly. Remember, without counting your mistakes, without feeling guilty, for your own satisfaction only, you have to say, O Divine, if I have done anything wrong, please forgive me. O Divine, if I have done anything wrong, please forgive me. This also you have to say from your heart. Not how many times, but from your heart. Push back your head as far as possible. Now, stretch your hand. Stretch your palm fully. In the center of your palm, just on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was the soft bone in your childhood, and now bend your head properly and move your scalp with your fingers stretched out, properly pressurizing the scalp in clockwise manner 7 times. And here again, I cannot cross your freedom. You have to ask for self-realization. I cannot force on you. So please say 7 times, Mother, please give me self-realization. Push back your freedom. This is very important to pressure, put the pressure. down your hands. Please. Both the hands towards me like that. Now watch me without thinking. You can wait. It's just for a second, but it works out. Now, put your right hand towards me like this. You can wear your glasses if you like. And put your left hand above, not on, above your head. Bend your head and see for yourself there's a cool breeze coming out of your head. Maybe some heat coming out, doesn't matter, but it will be followed by cold breeze. So please put your left hand. Don't doubt, don't think of the air conditioning you have. It's coming out of your head or not. Just see for yourself. Take it above. Now, put your left hand and bend your head again and see for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your head. Now, last. Again, put your right hand towards me, bend your head please, and see for yourself again if there's a cool breeze coming. Some people get it little far, some people closer, but not on top of your head, away from it. Bend your head and see for yourself. Please, see for yourself. You have to certify yourself. Now, raise your hands above your heads. And your head. Here you have to ask three times. Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Mother, is this the all-pervading power of God's love? Mother, is this the Paramachaitanya? Ask any one of these 3 times. You can bend it back 3 times. Now take down your hands. Put your hands like this. Now those who have felt the cool breeze out of their head or on their fingertips or on their hands, cool breeze or heat, please raise both your hands. Go like this. So many saints, may God bless you. May God bless you. Now I have to tell you one thing, you cannot escape it. You have gone beyond your mind into thoughtless awareness. Those who have got it will get it better tomorrow. So don't think about it. Don't think about it, don't argue about it. Be silent. And go home, have your dinner and sleep off. Tomorrow again I would like to see you here. Those who have got it will fix properly, they can say. But those who haven't got it also should not be disappointed. It will work out for them also tomorrow. And we are going to see that the whole of this New Zealand gets this blessing of the divine. May God bless. Tomorrow I'll meet you all individually and we won't have so many questions. If you have any questions, better write them down so that at the very outset I will know what your problems are and then I'll try to answer them. I hope tomorrow will be here out of your problems.
Hello, John. Oh, yes.